boy, B-voy. You already know what it is. Best versions of yourself. That's what I'm trying to make y'all. Listen up and I help you learn something to help you use in your everyday lives to help improve and further along. When you get to master it, you can help your peers improve, and then if you got kids, you can help your kids improve. I'm always just trying to help out the people and get back to what they originally always knew, and unlock all the doors that were closed that we didn't know we had the keys to. That's what B-voy is. Alright, we are live once again. Once again, I just like to tell you guys I'm glad that you guys are sticking with me and tuning in to get some of my truth that I learned throughout my years, and then I'm continuously learning still from my growth in my personal achievements and whatnot. Today, we're going to get real deep and personal. If you all don't know about shadow work, I'm going to inform you the best way I can today in episode 6. Shadow work is one of those things, I guess you can say it's a spiritual element, but one of those enlightenment elements to help you become whole. There's a lot of things that we ignore in our lives that are not the good parts of us. Our anger, our negativity, traumas when we were younger, things that we don't want to discuss with others. It's kind of just like bottled up, like a genie in the bottle, except this genie in the bottle doesn't fulfill wishes. It can bring back things that you didn't want to bring back. But the thing about these things in the bottle that we need to uncover and take off the lid and really discuss is the parts of us that made us who we are today. So without these bad parts of us, we wouldn't be who we are today. And so at the end of the day, everything is part of the journey. And you can't ignore the difficult parts of the journey. Shadow work is basically diving in to the bad parts of who you are and then saying it's still part of who I am. It's one half and the other half, and we got to make them whole. And so part of shadow work is just thinking about, okay, what makes me angry? What are my triggers? What are things that I say to people that I shouldn't be saying to people? What are parts of me that I try to hide, that I need to really just say, it's okay. This is a part of who I am, and I'm not going to let it hold me back. It's like a bunch of chains. We have all these chains that are like the negative sides of us, right? And it's just letting go of those chains, saying that this happened, this was part of me, and I gotta deal with it. And I can't say that this is a bad thing, because it's just a part of life. Everybody has to do shadow work at some point in time just for their growth and development. But before I continue going, I just want to reference one show. If you guys haven't heard of this show, it's called Infinity Train. Infinity Train, I think it's on HBO, Cartoon Network, a bunch of other places. But look it up, family-friendly show. Kids can watch it. Adults can watch. All ages can watch it. But it's basically about this little girl, a teenage girl, sorry. She gets mad at her parents, whoop-de-whoop-whoop, and then she runs away, hops on this train. And this train is an infinity train, so there's like a whole bunch of sections of this train. And so when this girl gets on this train, she doesn't know what she's getting into. But to wrap everything up, because I don't want to tell you guys everything, it basically is a bunch of her trials and tribulations that she has to go through every section of these trains to basically face the sides of her that she never wanted to face. And once she overcomes them, then she learns to let go of these things and to understand that they're part of her. And then she becomes, she has a more wholeness, and she has a bunch of growth in this process. So anyways, Infinity Train, I'll post a picture of it. Go check it out. Super good. But anyways, back to what we were talking about. You got to understand your triggers. Your triggers are tied into your emotions, and those things go hand in hand with each other. And so you have the anger, you have negativity, you have sadness, you have these bad things that have happened in your past that you never want to revisit. And I'm not saying you have to revisit them personally with somebody else, but you need to at least write them down, say what they are. What are these things that are part of me that I don't like. Write them down in a journal. Say it to your phone in your microphone and record it, voice record it, listen to it. Because once you put all these things out on the table, all of this is part of shadow work. And you're basically, I think I mentioned it earlier, you're fusing, sorry, the dark side with the light side, right? Putting them together, and now y'all shaking hands, working together to rise each other up. But it's all part of who you are. I've gone through a lot of different trials and tribulations in my life with problematic situations in my relationship from time to time. But what I found as a major key for me was self-reflection. Self-reflection after any type of bad situation that you've had, any type of argument that you've had, any type of thing that you said to your child that you're like, man, could I have said that differently? That's shadow work. Writing it down in full detail for detail and realizing maybe I could have said that differently. But having that self-realization, that's what you got to have. That's part of growth, and that's part of shadow work. I know I'm keep saying shadow work, but that's what this episode is about. But you got to have that self-reflection, because with self-reflection, especially on the bad things that occur in life, that's growth. That's having realization of, I need to get better in this area. I need to not say these specific words when I get angry. I need to take a second and breathe. Just breathe. And then come up with better words to deliver to make me ultimately feel good. Because we all have these moments where we get angry or we get pissed off, somebody cut us off in the road, whatever it is, and it brings out like this bad part of us. We're saying cuss words and these blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, man, why would somebody do that to me? Da, 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 da. But in that moment, it's just like self-reflection needs to happen. Somebody cut me off. Maybe they were in a hurry. Maybe they had an emergency. Whatever it is. And then we just say, I hope that person gets to where they need to be. And that's just a different, train of thought process that needs to be brought into all of us. It sucks when these things happen, but you never know what somebody else is going through. So sometimes somebody can deflect off of you and say things that they don't need to be saying to you, but that's because they got some stuff hidden inside of them that they ain't uncovered, that they ain't had self-reflection about. And that's why they're saying the things that they do. They need to have some personal reflection within themselves. So we got to stop getting mad at certain people and put them in a reality check, because that shows them ultimately that we've been doing our shadow work. And we've been there. We've been in their shoes before. Sometimes I like to say we are a reflection of others projecting out to us. And so that's why we have to do good and perceive ourselves to be good and say things that make us feel good, because then we're projecting what we want projected on us. And that's why I always preach positivity, not saying that negativity isn't there. But the more I preach positivity and the more I live it, I'm not neglecting negativity, but I'm projecting what I want in my life. And so the more we do this, the more we get the outcomes that we want. And then that shadow work is just, it can be a day-to-day thing, a week-to-week thing, but it has to be something that continuously goes on in our lives. Because we're not perfect, and we need to train at these things so we can continuously improve and make the world a better place. And then we can pass it on to our youth, our kids, our people that we coach or teach, whatever it may be. But that's shadow work is that big step, and it's super important that we do it. Some people, we got to go to therapists, whatnot. But an easy way we can always tackle these things, another form we can do, is meditate. Meditate and think about the things that are troublesome in your life. Why are they troublesome? What can I do differently? You got to ask yourself these questions so that you can ultimately tackle the solution yourself. You can problem solve yourself. You can go out about situations differently and then have different outcomes. That is growth and development. And now you're becoming the best version of yourself, one step at a time. And so, I hope you guys really enjoyed what I brought to the table here. It's a big process in my life that I do, weekly. because situations happen and I got to step back and observing myself, if that makes any sense. I know a little bit high up, but we got to take these steps and we got to continue to grow. I'm starting to look at my podcast more as like chapters in a book, one step after another. And this is one of the biggest steps that people don't want to try to, take on full head of steam. But once again, you guys, super important. Get a journal, get a voice recorder, meditate more, find your way to have an outlet so you can have that self-development and once again, continue to be the best version of yourself. And so I'm glad you guys tuned in. Listen to this. This is some important stuff. I know I'm repetitive, but that's how essential it is. Keep grinding, keep doing the best that you can do in all the elements that you strive to, succeed in. And we all gonna get there together, one person at a time, one step at a time. All right, best version of yourself, B-voy. Let's get it.